Hello and welcome to our program Where God Weeps. Pakistan in the Urdu language means a land of the pure. This term derives from the separation of Pakistan from India in 1947 when the Muslims desired to have their own homeland separate from the Hindu Indians. Pakistan today has a population of approximately 143 million, of which 96% are Muslim and a little over 2.5% are Christian. Today, to give us a bit more information and insight into the situation of Catholics in Pakistan, we have the pleasure to welcome to our studio Father Emmanuel Parvez, the Vicar General of Faisalabad in Pakistan. Father, welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
Father, the Religious Affairs Department has as a law on its masthead the statement that Islam is the only religion acceptable to God. How important is religion to the political and social context in Pakistan?
I think religion means everything to Muslims in Pakistan. Everything is based on Islam. You start from the schools, everything is taught about Islam. Politics all rotates around Islam. And Muslims are in practice are people who love religion and they would like to lead a life according to religions. For example, 5 times a prayer in a day. So much so that many times they misuse of religion, even the political leaders. They use Islam to get elected. So masses are attracted to the religion. So the feasts of Islam are celebrated in a grand scale. So I think religion is very, very important in Pakistan.
Now, the other community, the Christian community, many of the Christians that make up the community in Pakistan derive from the Hindu, the Punjab Hindu community. Why is it that so many Hindus have converted to Christianity?
Yeah, before I answer your question about a conversion of Hindus to Christianity, I would like to explain the flag of Pakistan. Pakistan has 2/3 in green, that is Islam, and 1/4 is white, that is minorities, especially Christians and Hindus. So you see in Pakistan we have Hindus and Christians. To answer your question as to how did it happen, I think when the missionaries came to India and Pakistan, it was easier for them to approach Hindus than to Islam, because Muslims are very emotional about their religion. If one Muslim is converted, then whole society is disturbed. Whereas where some Hindus are converted, it doesn't matter much to other Hindus. And this was probably the one reason. Second reason was that missionaries were more attracted towards poorer people and they focused their attention towards the poor people. And this is how we have more Hindus becoming Christians than Muslims.
Many Christians of Hindu origin still remain in low class and low work areas. Why is this still the case after many years of missionary support to try and encourage these lower caste to develop and to grow?
Here I would like to disagree with you that the situation is not that pessimistic as it appears. I think 50% of these people have already gone into education and into other jobs. We have some areas in cities where these Christians are in big colonies and they have remained there. First reason is that it is because of discrimination and prejudice. It is very hard to find a good job. And then secondly, it is also because many Christians are illiterate. So they don't realize the importance of education. But now we in the Diocese of Faisalabad, we have a school right where these Christians are, and in this school there are about 900 children. So every year about 200 children graduate from the schools, and I think the situation is rapidly changing. So the situation is very bright and encouraging for these people.
And yet, according to a Pakistani bishop, over approximately 90% of Christians and non-Muslims remain unemployed, and employment is a terrible problem for the Christians in Pakistan.
Yes, it is also for the Muslims, but Christians, because they are poor and because they are minority, they suffer more from this. Unemployment is a very big problem in Pakistan, and especially because the increase in population is very enormous. So as we have already said, there is 143 million people, and there are not very many jobs for all these peoples, and Christians remain still far behind.
What are the social programs that the church has in place to help unemployment or these poor people?
Yes, mainly it is through schools. A lot of schools have been founded, and also through housing societies. The church has bought land in many cities to have these special houses for these people, and they have the church, they have also schools for these people, and also there are many technical schools for technical training for electrician or motor mechanic, or in Faisalabad now, Caritas is doing a wonderful job. They are going, because it's a textile city, Faisalabad, and they are having a lot of textile training for young boys and girls, so they can easily go and find jobs. So through technical schools and textile schools and other schools and housing societies, I think the church is performing its job.
Muslims make up 96% of the population and Christians 2.5%. What is the relationship now between Muslims and Christians?
The relationship between Christians and Muslims is usually all right. When it comes to religion or to blasphemy law, then it is very dangerous. Usually Muslims, we travel together in buses and trains, and we go to the same schools, but here and there are cases where people have gone to eat in a restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant has come to know that they are Christians, so they have maltreated them and broken the utensils that were used by Christians. And also sometimes there is in sports and in higher education, discrimination can be seen. So in a normal situation it would be okay, but prejudice and discrimination is always there in the society.
Discrimination is a widespread problem. We see, for example, that Christians have difficulty finding work, difficulty finding homes, as well as the fact that Christians are not allowed, or it is, let's say, difficult to display religious items and religious images of our Lord. And what is the response of Christians to this discrimination?
First of all, Muslims don't like statues. They are like Jews, that you cannot have an image of God in any case of mud or wood or something. So Muslims don't like images, and they don't like even personification of prophets and things like that. I have seen that sometimes when we have one program on TV once a year, they give us 25 minutes, and under that also written that this is not our belief, or this is not true belief, what you will see just now on the television when we talk about Christmas or Easter. And certainly they do not believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. They say there is only one God, triune God. They do not conceive or accept. And even they say that nobody can perform in a play as a prophet, any prophet. So that is why we have had a problem in Pakistan, where some sisters of the Daughters of St. Paul were showing a film on 10 Commandments, And Muslim just flared up and they were very unhappy and they accused these people of blasphemy, blaspheming God and prophets and all that.
And have you experienced personally yourself discrimination?
Not directly, but I know many people in my parish who have faced this problem. I personally know. I would like to tell you an example of a boy. He was 18-year-old and he wanted to come on foot to the cathedral about 11 kilometers away. And on the way they asked him, Muslims asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to celebrate Christmas, I'm going to the church. Oh, they said, oh, it's a false church and they believe in statues and you don't go there. And so much so that when he insisted that he want to go, they put him they caught him and they put him in one room and called the police and accused him of stealing their goats. So the boy innocently spent 3 days in police arrestment for nothing. So such cases can take place, though not very often.
Father, Christians also make up another proportion of the population, and those are what we call bonded labor. What is bonded labor, and how is the Church trying to confront this problem?
It has many forms. It has many forms. For example, if you go to Sindh, it's a province of Pakistan. In Sindh, there are big landlords who have large pieces of land, and they have kept people there who are always there to work for them. They cannot go anywhere. They pay them very little, and these people always need money, and they give them, and they are always in debt and thousands of rupees, and they can never pay back, and so they always stay there and work for these people. They can never go out.
So it's a slavery.
It's a slavery. Then there's another kind of slavery, that is brick kilns. These owners of the brick kiln have some families who are making out of mud the bricks for these people, and these people have the same fate. They are always in debt and they are always working for these people, and so they are sort of slaves. There are some Christian societies along with some Muslims also who are trying to liberate these people. In Faisalabad we have a very big society whose president is a Catholic, and they visit all brick kilns and then they try to interview people and have liberated many people ever since.
Father, you mentioned previously the question of a new law, section 295C of the Penal Code, which refers to the blasphemy against Muslims. And I would like briefly just to read this code for the viewers. Section 295C of the new Penal Code declares, whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by visual representation, or by any imputation, innuendo, insinuation, directly or indirectly, defies the sacred name of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, shall be punished with death. This is a huge, all-encompassing statement. Is it not an invitation to persecution of Christians?
It is. It is the biggest problem Christians face in Pakistan. And it becomes worse when Christians are accused falsely, or because a Muslim has some goal to achieve, he would accuse a Christian. I give you one example. In one school, the headmaster had to be retired and the senior most happened to be a Christian. So all the teachers said, we don't want a Christian to be the head of the school. So they had a meeting with them and they went out to the school and they said, this man has blasphemed. And all the students who were his pupil, they were all very angry and they wanted to kill him. So he phoned the police came and police took him. And in the police arrestment, people came and killed him in the presence of police. So this man who had never accused Christians, 98%, 99%, no Christian would even think of blaspheming. But when they are accused falsely, nobody can defend them. And there have been many Christians and some Muslims also have been put to death, mostly by people.
For this same law.
Yes.
Father, in 2 years ago, I believe Bishop John killed himself publicly as a protest statement against this law of blasphemy. What was the impact on the church, and what effect has this had subsequently, if any?
Officially, our general, the President of Pakistan, had once tried to abolish this law, but he faced a lot of opposition. So that is one thing from the government that took place. Almost all the Christians take him as hero. They say he sacrificed his life like Jesus Christ for the good of others. So Bishop John Joseph was desperate. He said, lawyers don't want to take your case. If a judge decides in your favor, he is put to death. So he was desperate and he did this. And his impact on Christians is that it has strengthened and united Christians. And Muslims, on the other hand, they say, we don't want to abolish this law. It should remain always. Government is in between, trying to see both the sides, trying to please both the sides.
He was right. In fact, as we spoke briefly, many lawyers are afraid to take Christians, the cases of Christians,
Yes.
for fear of reprisal by Muslim extremists.
Correct. We think Bishop John Joseph had no other choice. He said, if it is question of blood, I shed my blood for others. And he wanted the whole world to know what is happening with this law in Pakistan.
There is another element to this situation in Pakistan, which is the Hudud ordinances. Can you tell us, Father, what are the Hudud ordinances and what impact again does this have on Catholics in Pakistan?
I do not understand this law fully, but I have seen that in Pakistan, if a Muslim marries a Christian girl, she is automatically Muslim. But if a Christian marries a Muslim girl, all want to kill him. So there is big injustice here, and Muslims don't even want to listen to this thing. And secondly, we have also instances where a married lady, she was married to a Christian, and then a Muslim by force took her and married her, and automatically the Christian law of marriage was annulled, and she became automatically a Muslim lady.
Father, what is the Catholic Church trying to do to develop dialogue with the Muslim community?
In the Diocese of Faisalabad, to which I belong, we have Bishop John Joseph initiated a group where he invited all the different heads of Islamic sects, and then Christians and Evangelisch Christians and Church of Pakistan. All these used to meet together 3 or 4 times a year. So ever since this has continued, our present bishop is also very much active and is always invited by the Muslims to when they are celebrating the feasts or something. And we, for example, when Muslims have this month of fast, Ramadan, we invite many Muslim religious leaders and government officials to break their fast at the bishop's house with many Christians who offer them this sign of friendship, and Muslims have appreciated it very much. After having this experience, then Muslims brought a cake on Christmas Day for Christians to show that they had appreciated very much. So I think in the city of Faisalabad, and I suppose in Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad and Multan, it must be the same. The bishops we have a special department which is called a dialogue with Muslims. So we have a priest in charge of this office, and he is throughout the whole year having different programs with Muslim youth, Muslim leaders and all for Christian-Muslim dialogue.
So the dialogue on the official level is starting, if you can say, but On a practical day-to-day level, how are the relationships between the Christians and Muslims?
Well, I say if you don't talk about religion,
Everything is all right.
everything is all right. We Christians can't just ask any question or criticize or make a comment on Muslim religion or faith. That is out of question. They can, if they like, they can express their view very freely about us, whatever they like to have. However, they respect Jesus Christ as a prophet. They respect Our Lady also. She is a pious and holy woman, they say. And they believe in the death and resurrection, and they believe in paradise and hell and all that.
In your opinion, what is the door through which reconciliation can be developed?
I think first people of Pakistan must be educated, because most of the problems are because of illiteracy. And secondly, I think we have to start working with them on the grassroots levels where our problems are common. For example, in my parish, I have made a cooperative society of Muslims and Christian farmers, those who have same problem with agriculture. I also do sports with Muslim and Christian and Hindu youth, and they can all come together for 3 days and play together, and there's a tournament. And then education. Christian schools are doing a very, very good job.
I wanted to address this question because Christian schools are renowned in Pakistan for their quality and are open not only to Christian students but also to Muslim students. How important are schools as a tool of dialogue?
I think schools are very, very strong platform of dialogue. And all those Muslims who in Christian school, majority are Muslims. Christians are, for example, if in one school there are 1,200 students, there will be 1,100 or Muslims and 100 Christian only. So mostly the education is going to the Muslims, and then they have a lot of respect for the priest or brothers or sisters or even Christian teachers. They have a lot of respect. So schools, I think, are doing a very wonderful job, and as you have already mentioned, the best schools are Catholic schools.
Father, what is the relationship? There is the Church of Pakistan, which is the largest Protestant denomination, a group of Protestant denominations really, and then there's the Catholic Church, which is the second largest Christian community. What are the relationships between the Christian communities in Pakistan?
First of all, I would like to make a remark that according to me, according to my knowledge, there are more Catholics than Church of Pakistan. In Pakistan, there are more Catholics. But it is, we say, all other non-Catholics together are half and Catholics are half. But anyway, the relationship between Catholics and Church of Pakistan is very good. For example, in Christ the King Seminary, our major national seminary, the Hebrew professor is a pastor from Church of Pakistan. We have a Christian study center in Rawalpindi where Christians, Catholics and non-Catholics are working together. At the death of Bishop John Joseph, a lot of people from Church of Pakistan and other denomination came and gave their witness, and we are one with him, and we are one body in Christian. We are all one Christians in Pakistan. So we don't have any bitter experiences. Here and there you may have a short discussion about Our Lady or the Pope or the celibacy of the priest, but usually very good relationship.
Father, you mentioned the Pope, which brings us to the question of Pope John Paul II. What was the impact of his death in Pakistan?
Enormous. It was phenomenal. We could not believe. First of all, for us, it was a surprise that the government of Pakistan showed it on the TV, all his death and funeral mass and all that. And the Christians were really strengthened in their faith. But Muslims also, Muslims appreciated it. They appreciated, there were articles in newspapers, and there were letters written in the newspaper, there were letters sent to Christians of condolences, and um, long letters, articles on his life and what he did, and they called he was the Pope of the world, he was a man of peace, he was Pope for everybody. So Muslims, and I think this funeral of John Paul II even brought Muslims and Christians closer. And Muslims have, and now they look at Christians with respect, and Christians, on the other hand, they feel very proud that they belong to a religion of peace, and they have such leaders who can be a good example for the whole world. And the Pope that way has had a very, very good impact on Pakistan, both Christians and on Muslims.
And what is your hope for Pope Benedict XVI for Pakistan?
We like all the popes. For us, it doesn't matter if the pope is German or Italian or Polish. We love all the popes, and he's already, for example, I have about 100 pictures of his with me. I'm going to take it to all the parishes and to all the people who like it. Many people have requested for his picture. So I think we do like him very much. What we have heard that he is conservative, that is very strong. But if we see how conservative Muslims are and how everything else is, I think he is going to be a great pope. And I think I strongly believe in the role of the Holy Spirit. If he has been chosen by so many wise people, he must be the right person for our age and times today.
Father, thank you very much for having been with us, for having shared your knowledge and your experience of Pakistan. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having been with us on our program today. And if you want to know more information about the Church in Pakistan, I'd encourage you to look at the contact information at the end of this program. And I look forward to seeing you next time on our program, Where God Weeps.